Hi guys, welcome to all. Today's lectures, they are nature and characteristics of teaching. So very interesting topic, NTA NET paper 1, and that their nature and characteristics of teaching. First of all, they are the nature and what is the character of teaching. Teaching is complex and multifaceted endeavor that goes beyond of the simply transfer of knowledge. And it is the dynamic and social and human centric process, and that is the influenced by variety of factors. And I explain it over their teaching is both and the art and science and equivalent unique blend of creativity, talent and systematic approach, techniques, procedure and skill. That nature and characteristics of teaching reflect their drivers application, ranging from the formal classroom instruction to informal guidance and training. So let us start my lecture. There are the first I explain their teaching as dynamic, as social and the human process. So it is very important, the dynamic, social and human. So what is the dynamic? Basically, dynamic here, the dynamic means teaching is not a static concept, and that rather a dynamic process that is constantly involving. It is the influenced by social and human factors. So also another I explain this means that teaching must adopt and respond to the changing needs, and also their perspective and experience the both teachers and students. So there are the dynamics. So it is the called the dynamic. Basically, teaching is not a static concept. So it is the dynamic. And another, there are the social. Social, basically, teaching is basically there are the social activities and involving the interaction and communication between the teacher and student. So the social context with teaching task play a crucial role in the shaping the teaching experience, as it determine the norms and also explain expectation and power dynamics within the classroom. And their social, basically there are the inherently social activities also, and involving the interaction and communication between teacher and student. And also there are the human basically humani without humani, their teaching is dynamic, and also the social and the human. So there another the points, their human is basically teaching is deeply human endeavor, and it's involved that the dynamic development of personal relationship, the nurturing of individual potential, and the fostering of emotional and social growth. Effective teaching recognize the unique needs and experience of each student and aim to create a supportive and endeavor their learning environment. So there are the also humani. And another I explain there the teaching as art and science. So basically art and science are including in our globally and also locally. There are the teaching is a art that required the exercise of talent and creativity, and involve the use of initiates their imagination and the deep understanding of the subject matter to engage and inspire student. Active teachers are able to adapt their approach to the unique need and learning style of their student. And also there are the drawing of their own experience and personal style, creative, meaningful, and there are the captive learning experience also. So science, why they're called science? Basically, the teaching is also a science involving the repertories, the techniques, procedure, and skill, and that can be started the systematically and also continuously improved. And there is effective teaching practice are grounded in the research, evidence-based strategy, and their deep understanding of cognitive and development process that underline learning. So by the approaching of teaching as a scientific endeavor, educator can refine their practice and ensure that their student receive the highest quality of instruction. So there are the called the art and science. Teaching is teaching as art and science. So another point also I told about there the diverse application of the teaching. Basically, formal teaching. Formal teaching takes place in structured educational settings such as the classroom and follow a predetermined curriculum assignment method. And this type of teaching is often associated with the traditional academic subject, and it is designed to impact spatial knowledge and skill. So there are the formal teaching and informal teaching. Basically, informal teaching occur outside of formal educational setting, and it is often more uh, spontaneous and flexible. It can take in the form of mentoring and guidance, experimental learning, and it is the often focus on development of broader personal and the social skill. So there are the informal teaching and instructional teaching is focused on there are the direct transmission of the information and the development of specific skill, and this approach is often used in the technical vocational training, and where the aims of the employer student with the necessary knowledge and ability and the perform particular tasks or job. So guys, if you are new, must will subscribe my channel and press bell button for all classes NTA NET paper 1. And so must will subscribe my channel. There are the running class, one by one class of teaching aptitudes. There another points also the remedial teaching. Basically remedial teaching is designed to address gap in a student knowledge of skill, and often through individualized and instruction and also target intervention. This approach is particular important in the supporting students who are struggling to keep up with the pace of curriculum or who have a specific learning needs. So they are the remedial teaching, informal teaching, and formal teaching, and instructional teaching. Four are different diversity of the teaching. There are the diverse application, different diverse application, also formal, informal, remedial, and instruction teaching. So definitely carefully learn it, and very interesting there are the concept of teaching. So there another I explained the teaching as a system of actions. We see interesting there the action there are varied forms. Also the teaching is complex system of action that takes many different forms. There are the ranging of the direct instruction, the facilities, learning, experiments, and these varieties form of teaching are trailed to the specific needs and learning style of student, and are influenced by the content being the thought prevailing physical and social condition. So very interesting there are the learning teaching as system action. So focus on the content. Basically their content focus. Effective teaching involve the careful consideration of the content and being the thought and the way of which student interact with an response to their content by understanding the relationship between the subject matter and the student behavior. Teachers can design and implement teaching strategy that are optimized for the learning and growth. So it is very important. There are the another point response and context. So their teaching process is deeply embedded within the specific physical and social context, and which can have a significant their impact on the effectiveness of the instructional approach. Of also they are the successful teacher are able to adapt their teaching method to the unique characteristics of the learning environment, taking their the account factors such as the resources, dynamics, and cultural influence. So very important there are the teaching system of action below. And another there very interesting topic points that teaching as the professional activities. Basically their professionalism and teacher student relationship. What do you know there? Do you know their teacher student relationship and their another the student development? So I also explained there the professionalism. Teaching is a professional activities that require a high level of specialized knowledge and skill and ethical standard. And they're the um, ethical standards and basically their effective teacher must have process of deep understanding of their subject matter as well as the pedagogical principle and strategies necessary to facilitate meaningful learning. So it is very important, and as well as the pedagogical principle and the strategy necessary to facilitate the meaningful learning. And additionally they must that to professional code of conduct the demonstrate a commitment to the continuous improvement of their practice also. And definitely their teacher student relationship at the very important of teaching is the relationship between the teacher and the student. And successful the teacher are also establish the positive, supportive and collaborative relation so with the student also. And so their cognitive and the learning and personal growth and which is involved effective communication, and there are the genuine concern for well as the academic success. So it is the important also the student development. Ultimate goal of teaching is the holistic development and their student personally and potentially. And also effective teaching recognize that learning is not just about the acquisition of the knowledge but also their critical thinking, critical skill develop also. So by tailoring their instruction to their unique needs and aspiration of the student, teacher can help them grow and achieve the both academically and personally. So very interesting that teaching as a professional activities, and they are also teaching as an interactive process. Teaching as a interactive process. Why call their interactive process? Basically communication skill, and there are the purposive interaction and also the feedback and reflection. So it's all there are the interactive process. Interactive process basically communication skill involve the effective teaching is heavily depend on the strong communication skill. And also there are the teacher must have able to effectively convey the information, instruction, idea and student while also all activities listening and responding to their question, concern and also perspectives. So it is the communication skill. And purposeful interaction, basically teaching is an inherently interactive process, and that teacher and student engaging in the dynamic exchange of knowledge and the idea and experiments. And this interaction is guided by their objective and share the understanding of their purpose of the learning experiments, and ensuring that the teaching learning process remain focused and productive. So there are the feedback and reflection is very important. Their effective teaching required and ongoing feedback and reflection both from the teacher and the student by continuous evaluating the effectiveness of their instructional approach and seeking into the students. Teacher can make adjustment and refinement to their ensure that the learning experience remain relevant and engaging and impactful. So very interesting their communication skill, purposeful interaction, and also there the feedback and reflection. So definitely must will learn carefully. If you are new, must will subscribe my channel, and if you don't press the bell icon, so cannot there are the notification. So must will press the bell icon. Another very interesting also there are the teaching as a specialized task. Why they are teaching is a specialized task? The specific skill and competence, and also their continuous professional development. So skill, what is the specific skill? Their teaching is specialized tasks that require a unique set of skill and competence, and effective teachers and must have the process a deep understanding of their subject matter as well as the pedagogical knowledge and strategies necessary to the facilitate learning. And these include the ability design the implement lesson plan also. And continuous professional development, basically successful teacher teaching is not a static endeavor but rather the dynamic and involving process. And effective teachers recognize the importance of continuous professional development and contingency, constantly seeking out the opportunity also and knowledge, refine their skill and set up today today with the latest research and best practice. And adaptability and flexibility is the most important points. Their teaching is complex and multifaceted tasks that require a high degree of adaptability and flexibility. Effective teachers must be able to respond to their unique needs and learning style of their student as well as the changing demand of the educational landscape. This involves the ability to constantly evaluate and adjust the instructional approaches to ensure the best possible learning. So teaching as a specialized task, how you can define the teaching as a specialized task? Basically specific skill and competences and continuous professional development. It is very important this point, teaching as a specialized task. And so teaching as a collection of various modes. Basically there are the formal instruction, collaborative learning, experimental learning, independent study. What is the formal instruction? Basically formal instruction involve the direct transmission of information and the development. So the formal instruction is specific skill and through the lecture and demonstration and other the teacher led activities. And collaborative learning, basically there are the collaborative learning approach to encourage the student to work together and share the idea and learn from one another through group. They discuss the debates and the problem solving activities. So must will remember when sometimes their question assertion and reason type of question. So must will practice it. And experimental learning, basically there are the experimental learning emphasis that the importance of hands on the practical experiments allow the student to apply the knowledge and the skill and real world of the simulation context. So it is very important. Independent study also provide the opportunity for the student to engage in the self-detect learning and exploring the topic and personal interest and the developing towards the learning skill. So it is very important, the independent study and also formal, collaborative and experiential learning. So another, and I explained there, the teaching as a process of analysis, assessment. Analysis and assessment. What is the ongoing evaluation? Basically effective teaching involves the continuous evaluation student learning and there are the effectiveness and instructional approach and through the use of formative and summative assessment, and teacher can gather valuable and student process identity area and improvement. And feedback also, there are the analysis and assessment of the teaching practice provide critical feedback. It can be used the refine, improve and instructional method and also reflect, and their teaching education can make the informed decision strategy and weakness, and their teaching educator can make the informed decision about how better meet the needs of their students and achieve desired learning outcome. So very interesting there the on this point. And also there are the data gathering through the analysis and assessment can also use inform the development one more personalized strategy, and also their strength, also their weakness or the learning performance. Also the teacher can design the learning experience that the optimize for the individual growth and success. So very in instructional therefore role of the teacher. And also I explained there the multi-faced nature of their teaching. Multi-faced multifaceted data, basically formal instruction, lectures, demonstration, and other teacher-led activities design impact. They are the specific knowledge and also skill, informal learning, and also their spontaneous, flexible learning experience that occur the outstanding, and also educational settings such as the mentoring, guidance, and the experimental activities. So collaborative learning group based on the learning approach that engage the student, work together, their ideas, share the idea, and the learn about the another individual instruction. Teaching methods are there trailed the unique needs, learning style, interaction of the individual student, and teaching integrated the integration of the digital tool resource, enhance the learning process such as online platform and the offline, also multimedia, also presentation, also virtual stimulation. So very interesting there are the nature also. And if you know, they are teaching as a holistic process, very interesting term, teaching as a holistic process. Teaching as a holistic process, basically intellectual development. What is the intellectual development? What is the social and emotional development? What is the practical application? Is this holistic process? Holistic process, basically effective teaching goes beyond the simple transfer of the factual knowledge and instead focus on the fostering knowledge and growth, critical thinking, skilled student, and this involve the engaging them the activities that challenging their assumption. So it is very important. Another issue, the social and emotional teaching also play the crucial role. The social emotional development student by the creating supported and the inclusive learning environment, and teacher can help the student develop and the important interpersonal skills such as the communication, collaboration, and empathy. And this turn can be contributed to their overall well-being, the personal growth. So they are very interesting points. The practical application in the additional intellectual, social, emotional development and effective teaching should have also provide the opportunity for the student to apply their knowledge and the skill practical in the real world, and this can involve hands-on learning experiments. So project-based activities, opportunities their student so engage there at the local community and solve their complex problem. Another issue also they are the teaching as a holistic process, and also there are 3 points individually: intellectual development, social and emotional, and practical application. It's very interesting points on the teaching as a holistic process. So thank you to all, and if you are new, must will subscribe my channel. Thank you to